ahead, man. Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead of me.
Fine.
The battery's flat.
Oh.
Usual. The battery's flat. It's not going to go. Needs a little tickle. I might need you to put your hand in front of the intake just to start it. It might go. Right, there's some fuel. It's got a great big ignition switch on it. Let's have a go. Right, find the button. Remember where first gear is in this, does it? Right. Oh, it don't work. Bye. See ya. Oh, no.
Trying to find second?
Yeah. The trouble is the gate is all back to front compared to a normal car. And every time I get into it I forget where the gears are.
So this is a Napier?
Yeah, I think it's
1911?
11, yeah, it's what's known as a colonial. And it's got a very high ground clearance and it was very good in countries like Australia. But it was very rugged, and then obviously with their tracks and things over there and unmade roads, you needed something that was pretty solid. But apparently, or so the story goes, in the First World War, this was used to tow cannons and things around to support the troops. So we assume it went over to France, but we're not really sure. We've been trying to research its history. And there is a little plaque underneath the bonnet which has got a ministry number where they requisition cars from the public, like Rolls Royces and all sorts of things, you know, for the war effort. Just have to go around here somehow. The other exciting thing is I'm hoping we've got enough fuel, so if we come to an abrupt halt, we've run out of fuel.
Okay.
When it's cold, you know, it sort of finally pulls the skin off the rice pudding.
Right.
But when it's warmed up, it's a bit better. But you know, I suppose it's quite a heavy car. Really.
Yeah. And what's the engine in it?
Right, I've forgotten the actual size. It's about 2 litres. But the interesting thing is, when you look at it, the engine's been put in back to front, so that when you turn the starter.
He's letting us go.
What I was going to say, with the engine, it's put in round the other way, so when you go to turn the handle on it, you do it anti-clockwise. And the whole reason for doing it was that the larger part of the engine with the flywheel, etc., is just behind the front axle. So again, for ground clearance, etc., you've improved the ground clearance. So, because normally you get to the back of the engine, then you get the bell housing, and that's more liable to hit the ground than if it's at the front of the engine.
Right.
But I must admit, it's the only manufacturer that ever did it, and it's known as the back to front car, back to front engine car.
Very clever.
Every time you go over a bump,
I imagine
throw off out of the
off.
seat.
Yeah.
You take off out of the seat. Now,
What's this?
do you want me to stay in or get out? If I'm going to get out, takes me
Shall I get the
a
engine
good
crank?
30 seconds.
Yeah, sorry, we don't need anyone in there for these.
Okay. This is a Salmson from the 1920s, and it raced at Brooklands. It's a beautiful car to drive once you get used to it. I still can't find reverse, but I managed to do a beautiful up change with no noise on the way here. Incredible. I thought I hadn't made a gear, but it was so silent. Yeah, perhaps changing down would be slightly noisier.
Yeah, you'll never manage it again.
No,
That's the
no,
one,
never
that's
again.
The one
Yes,
in 100 gear changes that
exactly.
went okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, as long as we can get you back in it again.
Oh, I get back in. Getting in is slightly easier than getting out, actually,
Yeah,
because you've
yeah.
got gravity to assist you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
How'd you put the lights on?
Right. Well, we got
In French, it'll be backwards.
lanterns, with
Yeah.
side lights.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
that
that's
was working
cool.
when we
So
left.
there's the one.
That one was working when we left.
Works now. And then
was
there's
you went over a
it's got
pothole.
single filament bulb, so there's no dip or anything.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're not going to take it out at night anyway. But
Well, you've got to put side lights on, will you?
well, I did, yeah. There's no brake
Yeah,
lights.
can you put side lights on?
Oh,
It might have gone off when the headlights went off.
is that the other one on?
No, nothing.
Oh!
They were both on just now.
Oh, hang on, it might have gone to the switch.
Put the side lights on.
Oh, okay, right.
No?
No?
They were
We just had them on.
No, they were both. You don't need to tap them. They were both on.
I know they were. Yeah.
Turn the switch on and off.
So that should be side lights. And then, oh sorry, no, hang on.
That's the wrong side. That's the magneto. When the headlights are on, the rear lights go off, which is a bit embarrassing.
Well, that is embarrassing. Yeah, hang on, let me just. Oh no, because you can't put it in two positions at once.
You can put the side lights on, and they both come on. You've got side
Yeah, and
lights
it's
in
got
the
side
headlight.
lights on the front.
What about that?
Oh, that's better. Yeah,
That's
got
it.
Yeah, I
You've
don't
got
know
a
why.
different position, so
Yeah.
you
There's
can
another.
you can
yeah.
have it for whether you want the. That's for when like.
Very
someone
peculiar
following
that.
you
Yeah,
want
but
it
you
high.
just flick the switch up another position, and then the
and
rear
you
lights
get,
come
you get
on.
everything.
Very strange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. Alright. Okay, turn those off. There's no beam setting or anything on these older ones, is there?
No.
I tell you what we didn't do, which is a bit naughty. We never put the starting handle back in the leather strop. It's not the end of the world, but you know, we'll do that before we go. this is a plug we can have. It's good to see a car up on a ramp. Yeah, because that's a facility we don't have currently at the museum. Yeah, and it would be very helpful to have one. We spent a lot of time on our backs, on the floor, on crawlers, and this is fantastic to see a car up this high.
Yeah, so as Paul was saying, back at Brooklands we'd love a four-poster ramp, but it's not just the thing of buying it, it's where to put it, because you need the height.
And you also need the support on the floor. You need in the Jackson shed and the Dunlop workshop, the floor isn't strong enough for the lift.
Yeah, so we did have the fire test chamber sort of earmarked for it, but they've sort of redesigned it now and revamped it, and so you can't get in there now. So we can't really think of anywhere else at Brooklands.
I think it would be 5 years ago, would it be, Roger? We did that report.
Yeah.
We did quite a comprehensive report. We put together a number of options with price guides, but it all disintegrated, partly because of the floor. Partly, I think power supplies were an issue.
Power supplies were an issue,
We weren't
but
sure we needed three-phase for every lift we proposed.
No, that's when we were going in the fire
Yes,
test chamber,
yeah.
but that's all been sort of superseded now.
A little bit of paraching on these rear tyres.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Yeah.
You can't see the cords in them properly, but it's.
I think we.
It's just where they're perishing a bit.
Yeah.
The old wall down again.
Yeah.
They are.
No, they're not. They're not terrible.
But they have had some. Obviously, the ones on the front.
Frank's look much better, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I've never seen leaf spring set up like that on the rear before.
Let's have a look.
Oh, I like that look as well.
Yeah, just
It's just
have a look. Mind your head in that.
slid into the chassis and.
Oh my God! Actually, I think what happens, they must just slide back and forwards on a bearing surface.
Yeah.
I think they're not clamped.
Can you see any grease nipples anywhere?
No. Yeah, no, I haven't noticed that.
You've got the shocker rod.
absorber. They're just friction shock absorbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got a little bit of play in the bush, but
Well, if I'll be honest, the shock absorbers don't do much anyway.
no, I wouldn't have thought they do.
I've not noticed any shock absorbing.
Yeah.
And some cars at the time didn't even have shock absorbers
No.
anyway.
Oh,
Okay.
see them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to put it in the vice that there's a bit of play
I'll
there.
put it
or-
down. It won't
Actually, there
hurt.
is a nipple there, isn't there? I can see it.
Where's that?
No, at the top. There's a bush. There's a nipple.
No, that's the end of the
No, that's
Oh,
just
sorry, I
a
thought-
split
yeah,
pin.
sorry,
Yeah.
It just looked like a
There's
nipple.
lots of grease nipples on all the front like joints
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And it's just grease nipples on the pivot points for the brakes. I like the little plaque it's got on the diff.
Oh, I've never seen that before. What's it actually say?
It's in French. Yeah.
I've got the Google Translate if you need it, Roger.
Something wobbling about. What is that?
Yeah. I'll bring it down a bit. It might be easy to see when you can pull the wheel.
Another project for Holly. Yeah. Another wheel bearing.
Well, we've got to do the same on the Hillman.
Yeah.
It's got leaking oil seals on the rear axle.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a similar thing to the Salmson. Not Salmson.
Well, we can do from we wait 45 minutes and then we sign off. What the prescribed time is for an OG now, how much they last for. Is it 45 till?
Well, in the modern day car, you have all sorts of things like
Yeah.
emissions and washers, seat belts, lights, all sorts of things. No, that's what I said.
We might be able to.
This one I'm not so sure. Wow. The bearing doesn't feel too bad. It's got slight, but I imagine these sort of bearings will always have a bit on a wheel this size. Yeah. That feels fine, but if you can have a feel that sort of there, it's more something. If you want to wobble it, I'll have a look at. Got the map now.
There's something, but is it the play on the steering?
It does feel like that.
But the steering wheel itself is moving
it doesn't
quite in sync.
Yeah.
The play between them doesn't feel.
Well, again, it's got these spring-loaded ends, but they're not actually moving.
They're not actually. No, they actually look alright.
I think it's.
Because the play's a lot more in this side than it is in that side.
Well, what I was just going to say is that I suspected it was the play in the steering box. But I'll just see how much. I've got an idea. It's not that much movement in this, but it's just taking it back to the steering box and it's playing.
Yeah.
I think it's just.
It's weird how you don't feel it on that side.
Oh, okay.
Which you would expect to.
Yeah, if it was just, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You can feel a slight. There is a. Don't get me wrong. There's a slight bit of play in the steering box, but it's only very slight. This side's a lot more.
Oh, okay. I'll explain that.
So
because we can't actually see the wheel. Right, so that knocking noise, slight. I think it's that. Because when you can hear that now, can't you?
yeah, that's the steering box.
Yeah, well, I think that's when we're doing the wheel back and forth. I think that's what we're feeling. The play in the steering box. I mean, as
it's something on this hub. You can feel it on the back of the hub, whereas you can't on the side.
I mean, as vintage cars goes, the play in the steering is actually
not
quite
much.
good. Yeah.
No, I think it's a slight bit on that kingpin or something.
Yeah.
But it's not, because you can feel it on the back of the hub compared to.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't, to be honest, we haven't greased it before we've come or anything.
No, they've got points on those.
Just about free. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I need to check that. Fuel leaks really is the only thing that really comes into it.
Yeah, I mean it's a gravity-fed tank.
Yeah.
With perhaps a heater coil. Who knows? I think perhaps the French had some surplus copper pipe.
Yeah.
There must be a rationale for it, almost like a reservoir.
They do it on modern cars,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
clutch pipes, coil them up like that. It's to give more volume in the pipe, I believe.
Okay, right. Yeah, because it must alter the speed of flow around the pipe, mustn't it?
So it's probably done so when it's on full throttle.
Yeah.
It's easier to take it out of the pipe than it is from there, because they do it on clutches. On.
So interesting to think that something that somebody decided upon 100 years ago is still going strong.
Yeah, they still do a similar sort of thing, and also although the engine's now solid to the chassis anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the other thing it might be done to give it a bit of movement.
Bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
Reverse, so we might have to push it off the ramp. But
it's not easy to get in reverse, is it?
No, it's up for first, straight up and to the left for first, down for second, and back up for third, yeah?
Yep. Okay, do.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. You really should have dropped yourself down in the driver's seat, but you did very well to slide from left to right.
Yeah. Am I better off putting it in reverse before starting it? Or
you can try, but if you can get in, it's up to the left and then down, yeah?
So up like that, left and then up. Let's see. Is that
you've got to put the magneto on, so the right hand switch,
that one there.
Push it up where it says marsh.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. The starter button is the brass one.
Handbrake was quite good.
Oh right.
The brakes.
The thing is, in these older cars, you tend to put the foot brake on and the handbrake.
Yeah, to do
Some
both
of
the
them,
handbrake.
some of them are actually split.
I'll tell you what the readings actually are in a minute, since it's off the screen now. But
okay.
But as soon as it loads over to the...
I mean, some of them, like off the handbrake is on the front.
Yeah.
We've just managed to get over 50% braking efficiency, which is what the machine wants to see. But he got that by virtue of the fact of putting his foot on the foot brake and also pulling on the handbrake as well. So it looks like we've got there in the end.
But that is the way that you suggested earlier on.
Yeah.
It is driven.
You pull and push everything you can.
Yeah.
If you need to brake in a hurry.
Yeah. And that would have been the case in the day as well.
Oh yeah.
So it just made it 50.07.
Yeah. It might be we can grease it. It's not, well, even so, by vintage car standards.
Oh God,
That's very good.
Yeah. I can remember I had an Austin 7 Ruby and you used to have to be doing this to drive in a straight line.
Yeah.
Is this a museum car?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Not sure how it got donated, but it did race at Brooklands, so it's really one of the cars which portrays the history of the museum.
Yeah, it's a lovely car.
It's beautiful. It's considering its age, it's in incredible condition.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know how much of this was restoration work, do you know?
Well, it looks like all this has been redone quite some time ago, but
But the
obviously
seam
it's
down
not
there
the original.
is...
Yeah. Done in the original style. So
Yeah.
obviously, I should think the original stuff just rotted away, to be honest.